Welcome back to our podcast, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome back. I am Percy.
I am LD.
And you guys are listening to or watching
To Go
Mics. What's been going on, friend?
I'm tired. I feel like every time I get on here, I tell y'all that I'm tired.
He's had a busy day today, though.
That's true. It's always a busy. I'm always tired though.
Yeah.
Some people will tell you that I'm always tired. So, you know,
night owl. Somebody be up in the wee hours of the night.
But not for nothing. I was going to say it's usually
done.
Getting something done. So let's pray that it all works out in my favor.
Yeah, I can have something that needs to get done, and I still won't do it that night.
Let's pray that it all works out in my favor. I'm not gonna say like I do it all the time, but more often than not, I'm up. And then I've been like rewatching Being Mary Jane. Shout out to Gabrielle Union.
I've never watched. I know, and I love. Yeah,
it just sucked the energy right out of my body. I ain't want to do it no more. I'm going home.
Well, I will be continuing the show by myself, guys.
But Being Mary Jane, I'm watching it again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still in checkhold. I watched like 4 episodes last night. It's on Paramount Plus.
How many
seasons? 4 or 5 seasons.
Okay, that's enough for me to really get into it.
And they're like 40-minute episodes.
Jeff, I got this AirPod in. So unprofessional, Jeff.
But
yes.
It's like 4 or 5 episodes.
I'm going to check it out.
You need to.
That's my girl.
You need to check it out.
I love their entire family, by the way. Shout out to Gabrielle and D Wade.
Absolutely.
And all the kids and things. But yeah.
Mary Jane walked, so Issa D could run.
Oh, really?
She's kind of giving that. Okay. She's kind of definitely giving that.
Okay.
Because during that time, there was Kerry Washington on Scandal.
I remember.
There was Viola.
I never watched Scandal. Ooh, I should have kept that to myself, huh?
There's Viola Davis on
How to Get Away with Murder. I love that show.
Oh, okay.
I definitely watched. That's my favorite actress, so of course I've watched.
Okay.
And I've rewatched, though.
But it was them two, and then as far as like black female leads, it was just them two and Gabrielle Union on BET.
Yeah.
And I want to say Empire came out like towards the end of all the runs, but for like a few years it was just those 3 ladies.
Okay.
So you should watch. It's good.
I'll go back and catch up.
It's good. I like to see black shows that are like a reflection of somebody's like life. I love the dramatics and the plot twists and all that stuff, but this is kind of like one of the reasons why so many people like Insecure. Like you can see that being your everyday kind of real life versus Scandal or whatever, and they murdering people. That ain't my life. Could be, but
don't spill it here, Chad, because I'm unaware. Just so everybody knows, I know nothing about it.
Okay, because we had this conversation. I'm not ride or die.
Yes, we're gonna get into these black excellence mugs that we got.
I need a full set. Set. Look.
I gotta do it in the mic.
The AM. What is the AMSR? For the girl.
For the girls. Y'all like this.
Take that fresh coat. Fun fact. Okay. We bought these at your local TJ Maxx in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes, right. So San Juan is down with the vibes for the black excellence.
They had 3. I got the first one. Then Percy wanted the cop.
I had to follow up.
And then Courtney, shout out to Courtney, she wanted the cop. I was like, look at Puerto Rico being inclusive in the TJ Maxx.
Right. Very much so. They had some nice stuff in there. And y'all, they had upstairs, downstairs. This is a nice
and with 3 levels, and TJ Maxx is my store.
Yes.
TJ Maxx and the Dollar General over everything.
You had me at TJ Maxx. Dollar General.
Dollar General is that girl.
Well,
out of the dollars, Dollar General is her.
Dollar Tree. What about her?
She's
actually a dollar. So I fucks with
She's actually not a dollar.
She's not lying.
She's actually $1.25. And by the time you spend several of those $1.25 because of the stuff either breaks or runs out,
no, she don't.
Dollar General.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm not biased to Dollar Tree. I've definitely been. I go around Christmas time. I go a few other times. So I think But Dollar General is like every day I can go get some good tissue, some 2-ply.
I'm on 2-ply.
I can get some good paper towels, good little snacks. If you out in the country, you might have a Dollar General market, so you get your little fresh fruit or some
Oh,
sort.
Dollar General Market? I did not realize they had that.
Yeah, there's some. There's one in
I do not want
Terry.
no fruit from no Dollar General.
First of all, if you're in a food desert, don't listen to this. You do what you need to
No.
do to get your vitamins.
Grow your own. Start your own garden if it's that dire. Because I don't trust it.
Let me tell you something. I don't have a green thumb. That stuff takes too long.
Me either, but I would like to.
If you want an
I would
apple,
like to try.
say grow your own garden. But what if I want an apple? You know how long it takes to grow an apple tree?
If you out in the boondocks, you got time to grow one.
No, you don't. You take your butt on down to your local Dollar General market, and you get what you're gonna get. Anywho,
Go out for it.
how are you
This
feeling
episode
this
was sponsored by Dollar General.
No, for real though. Dollar General, what's up? I'm gonna
We're taking that.
I put my first product line in the Dollar General. Let's go eat.
Oh, she will.
Let's go eat.
Because the girls will be in
The
there.
girls are in there every time.
Yeah, sure.
Dollar General, some of the Dollar Generals even have a pharmacy. They really all in one.
Oh, Chad, this is going too far.
Exactly.
This is going way too far.
The beauty of the Dollar General. Go ahead, friend. How are you this week?
I'm doing pretty good this week. I'm actually thinking about making some life changes. I've been talking to my partner about making some significant life changes.
Should I be concerned?
No, you shouldn't, but
yeah, I already don't answer
the people who
phone
employ
for
me,
you.
maybe they should.
Oh, yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
They should have been concerned. Oh.
Right, but
it's all in.
But other than that, I've been having
right.
a pretty great week.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No complaints. Yep.
I'm excited. We'll talk more about it offline.
For sure.
For sure.
And exposing myself too fast.
Oh, no.
Matter of fact, cut that out. On the flip.
No. Ain't no cuts. Ain't no cut it out. Ain't no cut it out. So let's jump on in to today's episode. We're at episode 8 now.
Episode 8. We've been putting in some work.
We have
some work for real.
That's part of the reason why I'm so tired.
Yes.
But neither here nor there. Let's get started with one of my favorite segments, the political rundown.
Political rundown. What we got going on, friend?
Wow. So the jury finds Donald Trump sexually abused Jean Carroll in a civil case, and she has been awarded $5 million.
This is how much he was going to pay her off anyway, but go ahead.
A Manhattan federal jury found that Donald Trump sexually abused E. Jean Carroll in a luxury department store dressing room in the spring of 1996, and of course, awarded her $5 million for battery and defamation of character. So this has been in the news. I thought this is some information that you probably wanted to know a little bit more about. So Carroll, she alleged Trump raped her in Bergdorf Goodman. You ever been to one of those in New York?
It sounds too expensive for me to be in there.
Child,
If Trump was there,
they probably wouldn't even let you in. To be honest, that's how expensive it is. But he denied her claim. He said that she wasn't his type, and suggested she made up the story to boost the sale of her books. He denied all wrongdoing. He does not face any jail time in relation to this case because it is a civil case. But Carroll filed the lawsuit last November under the New York State Adult Survivors Act. It's a state bill which opened a look-back window for sexual assault and allegations like Carroll's with long expired statutes of limitations. So the statutes of limitations, of course, have expired on her to put in the press charges for rape, but she can do a civil trial. Trump did not attend the trial, but this is not uncommon. Most defendants in civil cases, they don't really have to appear in court, so he did not, or any proceedings, and he has a right not to testify his own defense. So he's just, of course, we knew he wasn't going to show up. So with the jury, this is the interesting part. So while the jury did not find that Carroll had proven rape, it did find that she proved Trump committed sexual abuse. So as of now, the court ruling, there was not enough evidence to convict him of rape, just sexual abuse. The jury had been instructed that a person is liable for sexual abuse when they, another person, to sexual contact without consent. So under New York law, I feel like this is important. Sexual contact means any touching of the sexual or other intimate parts of a person for the purpose of gratifying the sexual desire of
Grabbing them
either
by the pussy.
party. Exactly. The state's law says that a person is liable for rape when a person forces sexual intercourse, and that is something that they did not prove in this civil case. And lastly, the verdict does not affect Trump's legal ability to run for president. So he's out of $5 million. It's definitely a tarnish to him. I know a few of the Republicans are sick and tired, being sick and tired,
They're
which
gonna
is
be
why
sick
a
for a
lot
while.
they
'Cause
are.
more to come.
But after this case, we saw a lot of people like hoping that DeSantis is able to get into the race so that they don't really have to back Trump because it's coming, and he still has other criminal cases ongoing right now, and neither of those have the ability to put him out of the race. So
I was curious before you move on from this topic, like the fact that they ruled in her favor. Like, how did they actually prove sexual contact? Because wouldn't it be like her word versus his? Like, how did the jury, like, what type of evidence could they have been given to actually prove, like, without a camera or something like that, other than
good
her word?
question. I don't actually know the evidence, but they ruled for battery and defamation of character.
Definitely defamation of character, but it can't be defamation of character if it didn't happen. And I'm not trying to speak on Trump's behalf, y'all, because y'all know I don't like. I'm just trying to make sense of it in my head with the facts that are being presented.
Yeah.
But I'm all for her getting her $5 million, girl. So.
Because
Jim
right now
Carroll-
he's claiming like he never met her, doesn't know her. So obviously that's false.
Well, yeah.
So the jury ruled in her favor.
Right.
Like,
Okay, you're lying more. I can prove that you're lying. I can't prove that you're lying.
Exactly. That's literally kind of how the case was. Like, I can prove that you're lying. So, and it's a civil case.
And
So,
I bet you him not even showing up probably didn't help this case either. But we won't tarry too long on
we
that.
won't because, I'm not even going to go down that route because we're going to do enough black. Right. Next is, I want to talk. Whenever I hear like this man's name, I cannot help but to chuckle. George Santos has been arrested today, charged in a federal probe. Have you ever heard the name George Santos?
Yes, unfortunately.
I know. It's so bizarre.
Again.
No, y'all, it's literally a gimmick to the highest degree. And the GOP has went along with it for so long, and I'm just kind of confused and dumbfounded. So let me give you a little backstory. So today, or when you hear this a few days ago, the Justice Department unsealed 13 federal charges against the New York Representative George Santos, including counts of wire fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, and lying to the U.S. House of Representatives. Prosecutors have slammed him. Claim that he has used campaign funds on personal expenses, including designer clothing. He fraudulently applied for COVID-related unemployment benefits, even though here's the key. Even though he was the co-sponsor of a bill that would help states recoup fraudulent COVID-19.
Playing in y'all face. He
has been playing in the people's face for a long time.
Literally.
While he was running for Congress, Santos also publicly opposed pandemic-related unemployment benefits. So he was against COVID relief funds and COVID benefits from the get-go. Then I wanted to happen. In a social media video from 2021 that recirculated earlier this year, he's seen speaking to the camera blaming President Biden for extending the goddamn unemployment benefits that made it difficult for a restaurant owner to hire employees. So he's a hypocrite. He's now in federal custody and is expected to appear in court a little later on this week. Now, not interesting to any of us, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is standing by. He's standing by George. This morning, there has been tons of calls for him to resign. These are serious allegations, especially the fact that you receive funds like from the House, you're lying about your employment. But House Speaker said, and I quote, direct quote, he will go through his time and trial and let's find out how the outcome is. McCarthy said when pressed by reporters on if they will ask him to resign. Now, congressional candidates are required to file sworn financial disclosures before an election that give full accounting of the candidate's finances, such as their assets and incomes. He made false statements on multiple financial disclosures reports to the House, according to the indictment, which is illegal.
I just found it very funny that
He's also the one with the drag pictures that came out. So
with the what?
there's a picture of him like circulated. It's supposed to be like him in drag from a long time ago. But
Really?
he's very anti-gay. Kind of, yeah.
Really? He's anti-gay because he give me one of the girls.
I mean, it was literally him.
I'm not shocked that he was in drag, but it's like, okay.
I wanted to go over some of the lies that this man has.
Do we have time?
We don't, but I just found this so interesting, so I didn't even write them down. So he stated that he received degrees from New York University and Baruch College. His campaign website also said that he graduated from Baruch. However, representative for both colleges, NYU and Baruch, confirmed to ABC News that they have no record of Santos ever attending their institutions.
Of course not.
Days later, after those universities, came out and said, "Hey, he's never attended our school, like never even stepped foot on this campus." He admitted that he never graduated from college. He also said that he went to an elite private school, Horace Mann, in New York City, but did not graduate due to financial difficulties of his family. He said he went on to obtain his GED, but again, a spokesperson like last week for Horace Mann came out and stated, "Hey, he's never attended our school."
This man literally been lying his entire life. His whole existence is a lie.
He also stated he worked for companies such as Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, huge Fortune 500 companies, y'all. However, representatives for both of those Wall Street giants, because they are Wall Street giants, said that he has never worked for them. To which he then changed his story and said that he worked for he was vice president at another financial company, and he worked with them. In 2020, when he first ran for Congress, he listed no assets and a salary of $55,000 in his personal financial disclosure report filed as a House candidate. By 2022, personal financial disclosure reports filed showed that his fortune had drastically changed. He owned assets valued between $2.6 million and $11.25 million, including an apartment in Rio de Janeiro, a checking account, and a savings account.
I wonder where you got those from.
Right, because he is also faced charges in Brazil earlier this year for theft.
Of course.
So
he's been a liar his entire existence and also a thief.
Yes, and they still voted for him
Mm-hmm.
to represent the district. So,
yep.
Right.
And I just thought it was so interesting that the House was so quick to, call for the Justice to resign, but not so quick when it's proof that this man has this litany of lies that he's been telling to.
Well, different houses.
Mm-hmm.
The Justices are in the State House.
Okay, well, bring me up to speed, friend. Correct me.
The Justices are in the State House, the state of Tennessee's House. But Santos is a U.S. House representative. So he's in a big house.
Okay,
and that's where he's going. To another big house.
He'll get some nice little shiny bracelets.
Oh my goodness. This is that town in Memphis, y'all.
It definitely is.
Okay, I have another story. I want to talk about the debt ceiling. So, have you been seeing all the reports about the debt ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure our viewers have. I want to talk a little bit about it because I feel like most people don't know what the debt ceiling is or how it works. So, the debt ceiling is the maximum amount of money Congress allows the federal government to borrow to cover its bills. The government typically spends more than what they collect in taxpayer money, taxpayer dollars, which is why they borrow. it has to take out that debt. So it's not like a credit card, though. Most of the expenses are approved by Congress ahead of time, and it's not uncommon. So since 1960, we've kind of raised the debt ceiling like 78 times. So it's not anything new. We probably remember before. What year was that? I want to say like 2, 3 years ago. The same thing happened. However, if Congress does not agree to lift the debt ceiling, the government will not have the money to pay its bills and will default on its debt. The Treasury Department has already started to take like extraordinary circumstances to make sure that our bills get paid. Um, a few things will happen if we do default on the debt. It will wreak havoc on the economy, of course, the American economy, but it also will wreak havoc on economies across the globe because this is America. We are like the say it, but not say like the leader. Yeah, we're the big guy. It would also result in job losses across the U.S. and it would affect our U.S. credit rating. So the United States of America kind of, we have a credit score, and we have been downgraded before from like a AAA to a AA minus. We're the big guy, so we're supposed to have the highest credit rating. So also, it has the potential to shake the position that we play on the world stage. The two girls, China and Russia, they're going to take it and they're going to launch a smear campaign.
Of course.
Immediately. So we really have to discuss that as well. Now, that's something I want to hear more about as we get into presidential debate season, like where, whoever the future president will be, where do they stand on where America stands on the world stage? Because I think there's a disconnect between the Democratic Party about where we should be in the Republican Party. So I think it's time for us to kind of have those types of conversations, especially when you're witnessing like another power like Russia invading a smaller power like Ukraine, and then the same issues apply with China and Taiwan. You know about China and Taiwan, right? Yeah, right. Like Taiwan is like self-sovereign, but China doesn't view them as that, and they feel like they should be a part of them. So I feel like it's interesting. Um. Oh, also, if we default, there's going to be a pause on certain payments. So about 50 billion in Social Security benefits, 20 billion in Medicaid, 12 billion in veterans, 6 billion in federal salaries, and 1 billion in SNAP benefits. And the longer, if we kind of default on those, the longer it takes them to reach an agreement, the numbers for those things will increase. You'll probably also see like a shutdown like of national parks and things of that nature just to like save money during those times as well. So the Republicans, they want to attach spending reductions to the debt ceiling increase and have passed a debt limit plan that has, done just that. They're willing to raise the debt ceiling, but not without agreeing to certain costs. They are concerned about increasing the national debt, which has grown um, from less than $1 trillion in the 1980s to more than $3 trillion today. They are refusing to lift the debt ceiling unless it's paired with spending cuts. Democrats have insisted on passing a clean increase, so they don't want it to be tied to any cuts. The White House has remained steadfast that if they take on the responsibility to raise the debt ceiling without condition, that he will sign the bill for us to do so. But President Biden, he wants normal. He quoted saying he wants normal arguments, not ultimatums. And the Republicans, they have a way of making it ultimatum. So,
I mean, that's just their character in general. Either do this or
it is.
No.
I mean, but in a sense, it's kind of like the Republicans kind of asked for this because we would have more money if like the 1% didn't get so many tax cuts. But
But
that's
they
a whole
don't talk
other.
about that. They don't
That's
have
that is a very deep and detailed conversation. So I ain't prepared to have it. Before we wrap it up, I just wanted to recognize the city of Kansas City, Missouri. Define the state of Kansas. The city of Kansas City has decided they would be a sanctuary for people seeking gender affirming health care. So, officials in Missouri's largest city are moving to declare it a sanctuary for people seeking or providing gender affirming care, defying state officials who are intent on banning it for minors and restricting it for adults. This resolution passed very recently by the Transportation Infrastructure and Operations Committee after being proposed by LGBTQ activists. The city says they will not prosecute or fine any person or organization that seeks, provides, receives, or helps someone receive gender affirming care such as puberty blockers, hormones, or surgery. It also says that if the state passes a law or resolution that imposes civil or criminal punishments, they're going to they're going to make the enforcement of that law at the bottom of their list, their lowest priority.
Oh,
So,
that's a bold statement.
yeah.
Very
So,
bold.
shout out to
Shout out to Kansas
Kansas,
City.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
But that wraps us up with the political rundown. Hopefully, there's another talk scheduled about the debt ceiling on Friday. So the day that this comes out, oh, you're listening. The talk is going on right now at the White House, probably.
Right.
So I guess we'll just I'll try to give you an update and see what was reached. George Santos charged. I'll try to keep you updated on that as well. Moving on.
Hello. Is that the streets calling?
Is that what it is?
Is that what that is? I think I hear a little buzz in my ear. So we didn't did the rundown. Let's get into these streets, Chad. Honestly, there wasn't much going on in my opinion this week. So I'm just gonna run down these topics, y'all, and we're just gonna get into some things. Let's start with Ed Sheeran. I know we spoke about it last podcast. We talked about the copyright case that he had going on for Marvin Gaye's song "Let's Get It On." Allegedly, Ed Sheeran had bit some of the, what is it called? I want to make sure I say it right because it's not the beat, but whatever. The chorus, the chorus at the beginning of Marvin Gaye's song "Let's Get It On."
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to the chorus that were, in my opinion, they were the exact same chorus that were utilized in Thinking Out Loud. But, however, regardless of my opinion and all that, he was found not liable for copywriting the song at all. And I just wanted to, bring it to your attention, friend. How did you feel about the fact that he beat the case?
I didn't feel any type of way about it. Did
the song sound similar to you or no?
Oh, was I supposed to listen?
You didn't hear
it? No,
okay, no,
I didn't hear it. That was like I didn't really. I just didn't like the statement that
I ain't gonna benefit out the chick.
I did. I did not like his statement that if he loses he would retire from music because I felt like that's kind of like a white privilege, and that's not the way to back black creators or make sure that black creators feel safe. That their work feels safe, even if he knew he didn't do anything wrong. Like you just need to let the process play out because now you're bringing potential harm to a black musician, black creator, black artist, someone who is legendary, because they want compensation for work that they rightfully did. So I didn't like his statement. Still don't like it. He won and whatever. Haha, kudos. I mean, what would we say? Clap? I don't know.
He gets no claps from me because it honestly still leaves a bad taste in my mouth too.
Yeah, like the taste is in my mouth because I feel like it's just been performative allyship. Right. No, because I don't like that. You put a black musician in a position to be, he's a big artist. Like that person could have been physically harmed by his fans or ridiculed online, cyberbullying. I'm sure they were when he made the statement in the first place. So I don't like that. Because you're an ally. You could have just kept your mouth closed, let the chorus do what they did, and just moved on. But I'm gonna quit music.
Right.
What kind of shit is that?
Because I mean, you're an artist too, and you wouldn't want somebody. You wouldn't want to be in that position on the opposite side. So
absolutely not.
We'll just leave that there. So he won that case. So good for you, Ed Sheeran. I guess. In other news, Beyonce's first show in Europe started on May the 12th.
That's
Friend. Oh, I saw the Instagram post because I've been watching. Because if you guys don't know, because you missed the episode or whatnot, we are going to this
first day
Beyonce
Europe
concert.
started May 10th.
Hmm?
Is it May 10th or May 12th?
May 12th. It started today.
Hey, oh
Oh no, today is the 10th, right?
yeah.
Correction. Oh, you guys know what? May 12th is the deadline for my state taxes. Ooh, Chad. So it started on May the 10th, you guys. But anyway, Beyonce is currently in concert in Europe. And so we've been watching like the little clips and stuff online. Shade Room posted some little clips and some little videos. And she looks amazing. Of course,
Absolutely amazing.
we expect her to look amazing anyway.
Yeah.
The outfit selections are breathtaking. All shiny and just it's giving. It's giving. The vocals are there. She's performing some of my favorite songs already. I'm excited, friend. It just makes me
I'm excited. I'm trying not to overwhelm myself with clips, so I'm just gonna let
all of
her.
them.
I know. I mean, I
can't help it.
was looking today. Cannot help it, and it's gonna go on all summer.
Mm-hmm.
If Beyonce likes to make changes throughout the tour, so I'm sure she'll make some adjustments before we get to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. Oh, I can't wait to
Yes.
get to Houston.
Yeah.
I gotta get my body together so I can wear what I want.
We got a little time. A little time. I just gotta get out the bed and get to the gym, Chad. I don't know.
Oh, that's not my ministry.
I don't know.
So I need to figure out something else.
Yeah, so shout out to the Queen Bee for, starting her tour. But in other news, let's get into this Chris Brown situation. He's back in the headlines, child, and I'm honestly exhausted from the name Chris Brown at this point, and I'm very disappointed, honestly. But first and foremost, let me make sure I say this is alleged before I even speak on it. Chris Brown allegedly had a fight with Usher. Usher threw Chris Brown a skating party for his birthday, which was earlier in May, and he invited all of his industry friends. Allegedly, Chris got into it with Tiana Taylor, which we know they had, I don't know if to say have or had, a very close relationship with each other. Like Tiana Taylor was always referring to Chris Brown as her brother, but apparently they had some type of disagreement with each other at the party. And allegedly Usher stepped in to kind of try to resolve the issue. But however, he allegedly ended up with, because child, I'm not trying to be Tasha K out here getting sued, child. But he allegedly tried to step in and Chris wasn't having it, and him and his entourage end up jumping the legend Usher. Do we believe this? Do we spit or we swallow?
Oh wait, what?
We spitting this tea or we swallowing this tea? Because I don't know.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I ain't never heard that before.
You can sip the tea or you can swallow the tea. We not get your
Oh,
mind out the gutter, friend. Come back. Come
you
on
get your
back.
mind out the gutter. You talking about me? I don't know. I haven't seen I saw a video. I mean, what was her real audio? Is that? I don't know.
You
I
saw a
don't know.
video?
Something was posted on the blog. It wasn't like a video of any.
Oh yeah, that
I
was a
don't know.
small little clip. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them perform together the day after perform, and I saw Tiana Taylor there supporting. So, not to say that nothing happened. I'm sure something did happen,
Mm-hmm.
but they fixed it.
Because they had the Lovers and Friend Fest that Usher was putting on. So Usher was actually on stage with Chris Brown
No,
because
but he was there.
right. And they have songs together. And he came out with a couple other artists and performed, even with
I
artists
don't
that
know
he
because
didn't have
I wasn't there,
songs.
but Tiana Taylor was there.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
everybody was though.
no, I'm saying like she was there, like cheering for
For Chris Brown.
yeah, during his set. Like,
Okay.
that video is out there.
Okay, so I haven't seen that video.
Yeah, like, she was there for his
Okay.
set. So I don't know.
So we have to
I
see.
don't know.
Maybe more will come from that child. We'll see.
Hope not.
Y'all can either spit or swallow it.
I've been
But
done
Chris, please
I've been
stay
done.
out the headlines, child.
They done.
In other news, let's talk about B5's Destin Michael. He recently revealed that he was in a relationship with D. Smith, who is a trans woman. Friend, how do you feel about this?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. I remember her from Love and Hip Hop. Back in my
Love hip hop.
back when I was watching Love and Hip Hop, she
D
was
Smith,
yeah,
she was on there.
she's on Love and Hip Hop
Okay.
one season. I want to say she was on Atlanta,
Oh,
but back then they had three going at the same time, and now everybody that's left has just been kind of pushed to Atlanta. I want to say Atlanta. I know it wasn't New York. So it was either Love and Hip Hop Atlanta or Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. But I want to say it was Atlanta. But she was on there for like a season. She seemed like a really cool uh person then.
mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for him to come out and make this
Yeah,
pledge of his love for her.
yeah. It was a beautiful pledge actually.
It
So
was. I saw the video.
yeah, so the R&B singer, he's 35. He shared a video on Instagram on Tuesday, addressing the stigma of dating trans women and why he chose now to discuss his relationship. So he goes on, he says, I'm in a very beautiful relationship with someone who makes me very happy. She's very sexy. Oh, I know that's right. Very
Yeah.
talented. And most of all, she has a beautiful, kind spirit, which I love. And then the reason he said that he spoke out about this because he wanted to condemn the violence that was, being brought against trans women, which is a problem in the community, period. And he was not encouraged. What word am I looking for? Help me out. He wanted to express this just because recently there was a death of a trans woman by the name of Coco.
Coco. Rest in
Uh,
peace, Coco.
yeah, she's a trans woman in Atlanta,
Mhm.
and he said he wanted to make it very clear that he wanted his girlfriend to have a special place and feel safe and free um, in his world. So I mean that's just the basic necessity of being
It
a human. You should
is.
feel safe. You should feel like you have a home,
You
and you
should
shouldn't be harmed for
feel
being who you are. So
exactly, and no matter who you are, how you identify, how you walk through this world, you deserve to be loved. So I'm happy for them.
yeah, it's very happy. So I thought that was a very nice thing that he didn't want to be one of those men in the closet loving a trans woman because you have those out there
I was
too,
gonna say
child.
now,
So
we could probably do a whole little section on all the A,
right.
B, C, D list, E list, no list people
Oh well,
who I'm just
yeah,
saying there have been several accounts.
yes for
I,
sure.
all the girls deserve to feel safe, feel seen,
Hmm.
and feel loved. So
Yeah, so that was a beautiful story of love, just all love. So let's move on to something else. Let's get into the Hollywood writers' strike. Have you heard about this, friend?
I have, and I am so happy for them
Hmm.
because I have been reading about it and following up on the story myself. So
Yeah, so the strike actually started, for those of you who don't know, there's a Hollywood strike going on that started on May the 2nd. Hollywood writers are on strike due to labor disputes that primarily between the WGA, which is Writers Guild of America, and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers. At the heart of the dispute, the issue is compensation for the writers. They feel like they're not being paid enough. And pretty much, without me just reading through all these details, I won't bore you guys with all the details, but pretty much in the past, when writers would write on movie scripts in Hollywood, the movies would go to be a blockbuster show. It would go to the movie theaters and things of that nature, and they would get uh,
residuals.
residuals from that, and it'll be a nice little check. Still, they weren't being paid what they should be, but it was way more than they're being paid now. When you consider things like streaming platforms that you have out here, you have things like Netflix and Paramount Plus, and
And there are little to no residuals because those things are always available on the platform.
absolutely. And so, pretty much now says the median weekly writer producer pay has declined 4% over the last decade, and then if you adjust that for inflation, the decline is 23%. That is a lot. That's a drastic change in pay.
It is,
Like just
and
imagine that as no matter where you work, imagine losing
right.
23% of your check.
And let me say, like I said, I've been following the story. So writers' rooms have gotten smaller. you know, before streaming became a thing, shows went on for 22 episodes, 23
Mm-hmm.
episodes. You had a large writing room. For most of the year, you were getting a paycheck of some sort. But now, because of streaming, shows are like six episodes a season, 8 episodes a season. I think the average is now like you maybe get like 10 episodes per season. The writers' room is small, and the filming schedule has shrunk as well. So now that the time is so much, the time is so such shorter, you're
Mm-hmm.
getting paid less. Now, another big impact of that is, of course, you don't get residuals because of, like you stated, friend, these shows are not being played on networks. They're just always available on the streaming service. But now you don't qualify for health benefits. You have to make a certain amount of money. I want to say it's like 40,000 if you're a member of the WGA to qualify for the health insurance. But because the writers' rooms are becoming like micro rooms now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're only in use for weeks, instead of months, your pay is less. And as a writer, you don't know if your show is going to be big. You don't know if you're going to get to work in another room for that year. So now you're stuck with like $20,000 check that you have to survive off of for the whole year, and then you don't qualify for health benefits at the same time. So
Then I even read one of the writers spoke about. I don't remember his name. I want to say Eric. I can't remember his last name. But he was speaking about a particular difference in one of his pays. Like he went from having like a residual check from Hollywood of like 12,000 now to only having a residual check from like the streaming platforms and things of this nature of like less than $20. Like it was like a ridiculous gap in the pay. Like it was that's sad. I
it
don't.
is, and I want to say I saw online that like the WGA gives amazing like health benefits, and it's a result of the last writer strike
Mhm. From 2008. This is
from
not the first time this
2008.
has happened.
It's not, and some good things for writers came out of that. But they, inflation is the real thing, and what we have to remember is these companies are billion-dollar entities,
Mm-hmm.
like billion-dollar entities who can afford to pay people. They
Right.
just don't want to and choose not to. So I'm for the writers all day, every day. Now I hope no. Well, I was gonna say I hope no shows get canceled, but it is over summer.
Yeah.
But there may be a delay. But the last writer strike, we lost girlfriends.
Okay.
Mara, we need to move a girl.
But for real though,
Oh,
and honestly, like some of your other favorite shows, like even if like you're a big fan of like the late night TV shows like Jimmy Fallon, Saturday Night Live, things like that, you could start seeing effects of that impacting your TV stream just because of the effects of the strikes that's going on now too. So
yeah, you'll see some reruns out there.
yeah, for sure. So we're gonna keep our eyes on that. And I also want to bring up the fact that the writers are uh, they don't want the use of AI to be involved as well because that's a whole nother element that's being added into it.
Oh
Because we,
yeah,
as we all know, AI she's a powerful girl
she is.
and she's coming for some jobs, child. She's coming not only for the writers' jobs, but she's coming for a lot of
She
the
is.
American jobs, well, just
The
jobs in the
first
world.
the first rounds of talks, the studios like they wouldn't even discuss it before they went on strike. Like, no, we're not. It could be such a powerful tool, and not even discussing it. But we know what we should really have a conversation around AI
Hmm.
because I hate to say it, I hate to be that girl, but she's coming. She's here. um, and we have to press our government uh, for more resources into how our work population kind of um, transitions
Hmm.
because AI is here. It is going to affect certain jobs.
We're
We
currently
are we're
seeing
currently
effects
seeing
of it
it.
too. Yeah.
The biggest issue is that we need government to help with the transition of skills for the country. So yeah, if AI takes this job, where else can we pour
Hmm.
these jobs into something new? Like how do we get training? And that's just the whole thing. So we should really have a conversation around that.
Oh, yeah.
So interesting. And then honestly, I feel like universal income probably needs to be back on the table because as AI gets smarter, it starts to do more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
There simply just may not be a need for human labor, like in certain industries. So, what do we do
In a
then?
lot of industries, yeah.
In a lot of industries.
And they
So,
said that I read somewhere that almost like it's expected and projected that 300 million jobs will be lost because of AI in the future.
exactly.
So
And we
that's a
need to
lot.
figure out like what the transition of our society will look like. That's why I say universal basic income, and it may need to, come back on the table to guarantee that people can just live,
Survive. Yeah.
survive. What happens when AI starts to do all the taxes, all the
Oh, girl,
accounting?
don't even talk about it. Don't even talk about it. I was
I'm
trying
just
not to
saying,
talk
or
about it.
all the accounting, or all
Yes.
the payroll, all the HR. Like these are industries that are currently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really every industry, but we have
Right.
to start to kind of like grapple with. Okay,
And I see this on a daily basis. Like even now, like I was working today, and I was working on pretty much teaching AI how to do a report that I'm running, and then like we deal with these bots, and we had this issue with one of the bots that we set up. We're trying to work through the kinks of the bots to make sure that it can run on its own. So once that bot is up and running, something that normally would take 4 accountants to do now will only take one little bot and it can run it a lot faster. Like it'll take you 40 hours plus to do it. The bot can do it within less than a minute. So
true. I
and
mean,
more accurately too, because I mean
exactly.
it's a
It's a
computer. So
computer, so that's interesting. Oh, I
yeah,
like it. I might need to find somebody to come in and talk to y'all about this because it's truly like what would be the goal of society at that point? It can't be
right,
to work because there would be no jobs.
right.
So what do we do?
And I'm down for not working, but y'all
We
still need my
down, but we
check.
need to check.
So we're gonna have to
We need
talk
to
about it. We're gonna have
check.
to figure
We
it
have
out.
to figure that out. But what else is on the street, friend?
Yes, child. So let's move on to Real Housewives of Atlanta, child. They had their season opener earlier this week.
Whew.
And what's the breath for?
Hey, camera.
Did you
Of course, you know I
no,
watch.
I was gonna ask that
Oh,
because I know you watched, but I was gonna, and I know this answer too, but did you enjoy the first episode?
um,
Because we had a couple things going on,
it was
a
a
couple
lot going
motion.
on. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed it. We did miss Drew like the first
Yeah,
episode.
we did miss you. I think she was the only cast
She's the
member
only cast member out there, but
that wasn't there, and I missed her actually. Like,
I enjoyed it. Sometimes it gets kind of hard, like seeing people argue about stuff. Where I'm like, if I were there, I can solve this. I can solve this
oh, this is
immediately.
just so petty.
Like this is so petty. You get this together. But I enjoyed it though.
Yeah.
I definitely had some thoughts. But I'll let you continue.
Yeah, so I was just going to bring up the fact. Okay, so the entire cast returned for this season, so everybody's getting a fresh start at the season to try it over again for the new girls, and they also brought on an additional friend of the show by the name of Courtney, who on the first episode gets into it with Candy because well, I guess it's not allegedly because Candy confirmed this, but Candy said that she didn't know who Courtney was, and so at the party that was thrown, Sanya,
Yeah.
Sanya Richards Ross, she threw a party for her husband. And at the party, Courtney, she decided it was the perfect time to approach Candy and talk about the fact that she didn't know her, which I thought it was just a dumb conversation to have anyway. If somebody don't know you, they don't know you.
It was so because the way she was explaining it was like, well, somebody told me that Candy said she didn't know who I was, and she was looking at my Instagram. I was like, oh, I don't know her. Well, she doesn't know you.
She worldwide, baby. I mean, she don't know a lot of the
I
girls.
mean, the same can be said about me. If somebody asks me, "Oh, do you know this person?" I'm like, "No, let me look and see who this person." I don't know them.
Don't
But you
recognize
don't
it,
recognize
right?
them. But yeah, so I mean,
It wasn't.
it wasn't
It
a.
wasn't shade. It didn't come
It
off as
really,
shade.
yeah, it did not come off as shade to me, but it came off as she wanted to press an issue. Now, if it were me, now when she
Hmm.
bucked up, she should have got booked because that was just kind of
Oh,
uncalled.
but Candy was about to.
She should have. Like I'm
I'm
just
about to
like,
headbutt this bitch.
because that was so disrespectful. Like Candy, I feel like before the girl went, like Kenny had already kind of like, okay, well, you know, we'll have to argue about this. Not that big of a.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know you. I know somebody else that you hang with or whatever. And then she go, I said, oh,
Yeah, Mama was a little
oh,
spicy for no reason.
for no reason.
Well, she was looking for a moment. I feel like she's trying
Oh,
to
she
step her
absolutely.
way on
She
the
was
show, and I feel like that's why the
absolutely
conversation happened anyway. Because Candy
looking for a moment.
she went on speak on it, and she actually said that she was like the reason that she even said that she didn't know Courtney was because the producers was coming around and asking like, hey, you know, this person said that they knew you. Do you know her? And she was like, oh well, let me get her Instagram because maybe I forgot who she was. And she looked the girl up. She was like, no, I don't know her, but you know, I know this person that she's in this picture with, but no connection to Courtney. But hey, so there was some drama that was created on Courtney's end.
Ridiculous.
We got a good TV moment from Candy though. I'm about to headbutt this bitch. I feel like there's gonna be a meme going around soon. And then of course Sheree and Martell they had their fake relationship. I mean their relationship
Wow.
going on.
Wow. You really think it's fake?
It's giving publicity stunt.
Really?
I feel like it's doing exactly what they want to do, give some type of spice to the season to try to add something to Sheree's life and also
I want to say it's giving publicity stuff to me.
I see it what I see it, but go ahead. Why you don't think it's a publicity stunt?
Okay, well, I'm not gonna say I feel like they're gonna get married or anything like that because I don't think it's gonna last that long. But I feel like it's just something fun for the both of them.
I'm not saying that they're not engaging in intercourse and things like that, but it has been said in the streets because the streets called, and the streets were saying that Martell was not only just dating Sheree, he was dating multiple people in Atlanta at the
Right,
same time.
right. I mean
So
I mean that just gives me classic horror. Like it doesn't.
right. But who's
You know,
gonna bring a classic horror on as their boyfriend on the show?
somebody who is having a good time.
Or somebody who needs a storyline, i.e. Sheree, i.e. Martell. But I mean, it's working. It's doing what it's
I
supposed to do.
mean,
Because he also allegedly slid into Kenya's DMs.
well, that wasn't
That was an
alleged.
issue. Well, I just have to say
True.
alleged because I couldn't
Well.
physically see the proof. But
Okay.
I do
Well,
believe that he
she
did
said it was.
slide.
Oh yeah, I believe that too. But it wasn't. It wasn't during the time that him and Sheree, had their thing going on. So I don't really see a problem with that.
But my only issue is if somebody hollered at you, don't come holler at me.
I know, but we are real friends
Oh.
in real life. I'm just throwing it out there. You and I, this is my brother all day. We vacation together.
So don't try it.
I'm at my house and I'm at his house in my sleeping clothes. Like this is my brother. Like seriously. So that's different. But them, I just feel like they may be friendly, but they work friends.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, that's true.
Yeah. Like I don't see Sheree at Kenya house drinking wine. Going to work out like stuff that we do every day. Like they're not doing it. So
if it was Kenya and Candy, it'd probably be different because I feel like they really have a friendship.
Yes.
Sheree and they just have like a television
kind of. We work together.
Yeah.
We've got to make some moments, kind of thing. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. That's how I felt about it. It's like my work friend. Like, okay, you dated my work friend. Or my work,
Yeah.
I know them for the hours that I'm at my desk, but I don't know you outside of. I don't really hang with you outside of all this. So I don't even care about that.
Yeah, well,
but if it were like Sheree and Nene, I'll probably. Because they had, they used to have.
Miss Nene.
I miss
I
this.
miss Nene. I need
the
Nene.
show needs Nene.
It really does. Give me Nene. Give me Portia.
so bad.
Give me
because I'm trying to figure out how all this blew up. It may have been Martell's fault that all this is gonna blow up in the end, or whatever. But some of the arguments this first episode seemed just so contrived to me.
Yeah.
Seemed so producer induced that I was kind of like, "Where is Nene?
Mm-hmm.
Where is Kim with the
I can do that
weird randomness? Like, she getting a divorce child, so she might be on.
Oh,
she might be chugging on back.
She is getting a divorce. I
That's just,
forgot
and
all
that
about
is,
that too.
and what's that? That's a storyline.
And that's something that I would be interested in seeing because it's real life and people are going through it. It's reality, people.
Right. That's why I
Stop
wish
trying to play.
Portia would have stayed, because then
Yes.
maybe she will come back. Because I didn't like her on Girls Trip.
I didn't even finish, so I
Her
guess it was
and
lackluster, but
her and just
Portia was
got on
a breath
my
of fresh air on Girls Trip out of everybody to
her
me.
and
And my girl Candace.
that girl, that lady.
That
No,
lady.
no. It was giving bullying to me. Like the last few, I stopped. I
Oh,
stopped
see,
watching.
I didn't make it.
It was giving bullying. It was giving deflect. You know, the lady. That's all she
That
do
lady, oh my god.
is deflect.
Y'all, he's talking about Giselle Bryant.
I ain't talking about nobody but that lady. I don't know who that woman is. I'm just talking
Ah,
about that lady.
hollering.
She did a whole thing about a bottle of liquor that was so hard to get. It was some doggone Casamigos.
Casamigos, she be high. But I ain't finna go through no rant about my Casamigos.
Whole rent calling people out there.
And we on two
Trying to
different
get to
pay
the,
levels too, so.
I was like, how's it for some shit that the production probably paid for?
Mm-hmm.
That lady.
Yeah.
All right,
But
that's
I'm
right.
interested. I'm interested in seeing where Atlanta Housewives goes from here. Hopefully, get a little bit more
Oh wait,
interesting.
before we leave, how did you feel about
Ouch.
Sanya's family dynamic? That was probably the most
Oh,
interesting
okay.
part of the episode to me. That seemed to be the most natural because her sister looked fed up when she said what she said. But how do you feel about that?
I thought it was weird last season when because she shared that information last season and that they were all living together. If you guys were watching that, she lives in the house with her sister, her mom, and dad. Who else? I feel like there's some more people in there. And
No,
mind you,
her. Okay, so
her sister
it's
had
three
kids.
families. It's three families.
Mm-hmm.
Sonya, of course, her husband, her
Husband.
child,
Mm-hmm.
her sister's husband. They're two children,
Uh huh.
and then her parents.
Right.
So we got three families.
That's a whole lot. A whole lot of.
That's a whole lot of. But she hired her brother-in-law as her assistant. That's the problem. That's the problem.
And then the sister's the hairstylist, so it's like everybody's working pretty much for Sanya and her husband, and
Yeah,
they all have to cohabitate together. Like
that's not
that's a recipe for disaster, honestly,
absolutely.
in my opinion. But maybe it's working for them.
It ain't.
But
I called. I said, "Oh, she need to get these grown people at her house." Because I was like, it's got to be at least 5 bedrooms in this home. It needs to be at least 5 to 6 rooms.
they
Because if
need
it's less
even
than
more
that,
than that.
they do. But
Somebody on the couch.
the cheering,
Yeah,
the cheering. That's too many people to be
it is a lot of people.
in one house. But hey,
Well, it worked for y'all. Maybe this is a Jamaican thing. If it worked for y'all,
I kind of want more of it though. Maybe it's boring, but I felt like when she got on the show, that was her whole big pull.
mm-hmm.
Oh, we're moving here from where they come from, Texas. They moved here from Texas or whatever. Oh, we moved here to Atlanta, and my whole family's under one roof, and we gotta see how it goes, and we don't really see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's her storyline.
It really is because I'm pretty sure they have some. They get into it in their house,
Oh, because her sister, like, she'll go come at you.
right? But she better keep it cute too, because don't forget
She'll
who
keep
cutting
you.
that shit and who roof you under. But that's neither here nor there.
Neither.
I'm not a part of y'all family, child. This is just my opinion.
Good luck.
So next, let's talk about Ebony K. Williams. We didn't get a chance to talk about this on the last podcast, but
Hey, Ebony.
hey, Ebony girl, she has been heavily in the media, in front of the media, this last couple days or what? It's been a week.
It's been probably a little bit over a week.
Yeah, just a tad bit. So she recently interviewed Iyanla Vanzant on her show, The Grigio. I hope I'm saying that right. Don't It ain't no shade.
But the Grio.
The Grio.
Yeah.
The Grio. That's what she interviewed on.
Shout out to the Grio. I love their stuff.
Yeah.
I love their articles.
And Mark Lamont here. That's why I watched. But
yeah, hey Lamont.
Yeah. So he not he. I'm sorry. I was thinking about Mark. But Ebony recently interviewed Iyanla on the show, and she was talking about women positioning themselves in relationships without essentially settling for a man that doesn't necessarily have the income, the resources, or the leadership that the woman desires or matches, where she is. And so Iyanla asks the question, well, beloved, would you date a bus driver? Then there was a slight pause in the response, and then she was like, well, yes. Well, no, I'm sorry. She did not say yes. She was like, yes, if he owned the bus.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's her response. And so she got a lot of backlash from the media about that. Pretty much make it seem well, the media took that as her being a gold digger or looking for a man just because his salary and things of that nature and what he can bring to her financially. And so they've been dragging her. And she recently did a interview on the Breakfast Club to
Mm-hmm.
come up there and kind of clear the air and try to really get her feelings off about what she actually meant. And Chad, when I say it was a little rough to watch. It's kind of like watching your parents fighting. Honestly, like I feel like I shouldn't have been a part
Ah,
of it to see it because
not your parents.
Envy, he was not having it with her because she pretty much saying, and honestly, I did get her point. She was pretty much saying I was
I
not.
thought she before you said what you're gonna say. I thought she backtracked a
She
lot
did.
for that interview,
She did.
so that we can talk about
Right.
that.
She did
But go
backtrack,
ahead.
but at the Breakfast Club, I got her point that she gave at the Breakfast Club because she did, and I thought she backtracked as well. She did backtrack, but she was pretty much saying at the Breakfast Club what she was really saying was about black ownership and not necessarily about the salary, which actually conflicted with what she said because I had the statement here, like what I just read. She was when she was interviewing Iyanla, she was talking about income, resources, and leadership. Income that's relating to salaries, resources. What is that relating to? I would equate that to be salary and money as well, financial as well. But she pretty much said it was just about ownership and propelling the black being, not being mediocre and not being complacent in your situation and wanting better for yourself as a black being. Black excellence, really, is what she was trying to move forward to. That's what she said on the Breakfast Club.
Right, and all of that is what I don't like.
Speak on it. Oh, is this on?
Is it on? TS, is it on? I freaking love Maddie,
Yes.
but that's what I did not like.
Mm-hmm.
Her response originally came off as classist, but even the doubling down on it to me was classist. I had this conversation with someone a while ago when they were talking about, what it means to be black excellence, and you're black excellence. Oh, cool, whatever, cool. But this is really Instagram's fault. So, shit, I forgot what you were
Not
talking about.
Instagram.
It is because everybody doesn't want to own things. Everybody's not an owner.
Yeah, it's true.
Everybody doesn't want ownership. Everybody cannot start a business. Everybody don't want to run a business. Everybody don't want to be into real estate. Everybody don't want to play like people. It's become such a big thing in in the black community and I say Instagram because it's kind of like where we first started seeing all these courses and it's too easy. You can do this in your sleep, and if you're not hustling like that hustler mentality, which
Mm-hmm.
I hate as well, some people really just want to live their life. They work their job. They find satisfaction in that. They put food on their table. They take care of their family, and these people make the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
One can't exist without the other.
right? It's just that's just what it is. Instead of her, when she positioned these people um, as mediocre, we cannot accept, more mediocre. I mean, I found that problematic because no, I'm not a blue collar worker, but my parents are. Like my grandparents were, and they made things happen for me. They add to the American dream, the success of this society. It really doesn't matter what the facet is or how much money they brought home for, but they work hard. Like my father works hard. He's not a millionaire. He doesn't own a business either. So I just kind of, and to him, what he does is not mediocre because I've got 3 siblings like who have all went through college at this point.
But when we're saying mediocre, and to Ebony's point, what is your connotation of mediocre? Because she went through the Webster's dictionary and she gave the
I saw
definition of
trying
mediocre.
to. Um, I thought she was trying to save herself a little bit. I just
But
I
I mean, it's
wanted
factual.
her. I wanted her to. Her response should have been more personal to her. I think it was very general to black women and black men. Like it was just too generalized. Um, it just should have been more personal to her. It's probably like my biggest issue.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and child, Envy even went on. I have to mention this. Envy was so heated when he was speaking with her, and he even called her out for having allegedly a white fiance. I say allegedly because I'm not in her business. I don't know, and I'm not trying to get toxic. Hey, Chad. But so I mean, so that adds another element to it because we know Ebony K. Williams for championing the black experience and speaking out for
Yeah, I don't care about that.
black
I
excellence
don't
and
care about
stuff
the
like that.
white fiance,
Mm.
but I just think someone in her power, you have to remember who the majority is. It's not you.
Mm.
The majority of people are not world class attorneys.
Working Americans.
They're working Americans. They're not. The majority of people, the people you're passing every day, the reason the lights on in the building that you're in, the reason you had water, at the Breakfast Club. The idea like these are just working class people doing the best they can with what they got. And I think she probably needed to remember that.
And the reason I wanted to add this story in because I thought it was a great segue into our topic today. When we get into our bag, just to talk about black
Well, let's get into
excellence.
it. Let's get into our
Let's just go ahead
bag.
and get into it.
Let's get
MK, we're
into
gonna
our
sit you
bag. We're
down.
gonna sit her down. I'm so glad you put this here. The reason that I wanted to talk about this today was because there's a new show out on Bravo. It's called Summer House.
Mm-hmm. Martha's Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard, and it's an all black cast.
Yes,
So
y'all
come on,
check it out
Bravo,
if you haven't.
check it out if you haven't. The first episode was pretty
She was cute.
good.
She was very
She was
cute.
kind of cute. There's
I enjoyed it.
I'm not gonna give my negative qualms about it, but I
Oh,
enjoyed it. Who was the guy? There was a black guy there. I can't even remember.
Preston.
Preston. Oh,
Preston.
that wasn't a
Who's the
black.
black
That
guy?
wasn't a gay
Talking about
guy.
black excellence.
Yeah, was that
Preston.
Preston?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's only
Preston
been
Mickham. I butchered your last name, but
okay. But we're gonna tag him. Like, shout out to him. He's wonderful on the show. We've only seen one episode, so apologies if we kind of butchered your name.
Yeah.
We
get to know you, girl.
We're working class Americans. This is our
period.
It's been a day. It's been a day. So I wanted to talk about black excellence and do a deep dive into black work in America. Like I said with Ebony, if she would have framed it as y'all for me personally, I want somebody who kind of can keep up with my lifestyle. That's a different than taking it to a conversation about what is mediocre. Uh, that's it's just two different things. Personal preference, personal preference, but when you start getting into the mediocre, never. So let's define what black excellence is. Okay, let's get into the textbook. So black excellence is a term that celebrates the achievements, contributions, and success of black individuals and communities across various fields and endeavors. It is a recognition of affirmation of the exceptional talents, resilience, and accomplishments of black people in the face of historical and ongoing challenges. I thought it pertinent to describe what black excellence is because I feel like a lot of our people, black excellence to them only means one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Only means a couple things. It means, financial. You're of a certain financial status. It means education. You're of a certain educational status as well. Your degree, career. Right. It means you're a business owner. That's black excellence. And we skip over Martha at the grocery store. or
Who's been working there 20 years,
20
putting
years.
in, and she know everything like the back of her hand. And she
Back
provide for
of her
her
hand.
family.
A true SME, subject matter expert in
Mhm.
what she does for her community. We look over Devontae, like at
Picking up trash.
or whatever. So I wanted to just point that out, that Black excellence is truly a part of that is the accomplishments of Black people in the face of historical and ongoing challenges. Just being able to survive in this country, in America, is Black excellence. You get up and go to work every day. You take care of your kids. You take care of your parents. You know, you do what you need to do for society. You are a citizen. You're Black excellence. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Like, no one.
Absolutely.
And Preston made this point on the show when another one of his cast members brought up, "Oh, we are what Black excellence looks like." No, we are not. Black excellence looks like being oppressed for over 500 years and still being able to put food on your table.
Hello?
That's Black excellence. The concept of Black excellence, it emerged as a response to the historical marginalization, systemic racism, and limited opportunities that Black people have faced throughout history. I told somebody this before. Maybe somebody didn't want a blue collar job, but you never know what situation that someone in where they needed to make money, they needed to work, and this was a legal and safe way to do so. People work to provide. I feel blessed to be in a situation where I can actually do something that I truly enjoy doing and make money off of it. But everybody's not in my situation.
Yeah, show that.
Black people, I've never been like a pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of girl because first of all, Black people don't have boots. So there's that.
Yeah.
And I did not mean it in the literal sense.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure that.
Halloween.
In the metaphorical sense, we didn't get the boots to pull the boots up. So period. If you're out here working and surviving, you're Black excellence. So I'm gonna keep, saying that throughout this section of the show. So before we get started, we already started. Before we dive deeper, friend, is this definition of Black excellence? Is it what you expected? Did you think something different? A different thought. So you're just kind of like,
No. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it so eloquently like, you did. I'm not sure we got the definition from, but that's exactly what I think Black excellence is. It's just about setting a goal and being great in trying to achieve that goal, whatever that goal looks like for you. Everybody's goals in life are going to be different. As long as you're moving the diaspora forward, in my opinion, that's Black excellent. You can do that by just working, like you said, at the grocery store. My mom is an example of Black excellence. She's worked 2, 3 jobs just to provide for her family so that I could go to college, just so I can have a great education. So she could put me in a better situation. So
that's
don't try to shit on the people who have those what you call mediocre or average jobs because they're providing for their family, they're keeping the lights on, and they're making sure that the generation after them is able to move
forward.
further and
Exactly.
and forward. So
And don't forget the excellence parts comes from Black people being able to rise and respond to historical marginalization, systemic racism, and just truly limited opportunity. Uh,
and resilience in the definition
and
too. That was
resilience,
just
yes,
that's it.
it's
That's
just
it. Resilience.
it's the accomplishments in, in the face of historical and ongoing challenges. And let me remind you, not too long ago, we couldn't even ride the bus.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I just want to say, when you're looking at how you treat people in society based on the position or the position that they hold, the career, the financial position that they are in, remember, no matter how what Ooh.
I'm sorry because you just ate me up just that one statement.
I'm just saying, no matter how small you view them in your world, a Black person had to be there first.
Well,
You want to work at a grocery store, there was a time that you were not allowed in the grocery store, and a Black person had to face the adversity to get in there and work. The same with the bus drivers. There are times in history where black people couldn't ride the bus, let alone drive the bus.
Mm.
So somebody
Facts.
fought for somebody fought
Right.
for their right. Like we have fought for these things, and we have to just realize that it's not it's not necessarily weird, but just taking pride in anything that you are able to do. Um, in your opinion, friend, what are some? Do you know? Well, any historical examples of black excellence that have had a significant impact on society? In your opinion, like what are some historical examples if you can think
Mm. It's so many historical. I
of one? I
mean, we could
know. Let's hit the people with a black history fact.
besides like what Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. I mean, you talk
Not a
about the
big
bus,
right. James Meredith
right? I mean,
integrating Ole Miss.
it's so many, and that's why I wanted to go to Ole Miss. By the way, I
Because
decided not
James
to,
Meredith.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I mean, it's so many. Like if I were to pinpoint one top of my head, I don't know. It's so many. I
I
just can't. I
know.
can't just. It's so many out there.
What? This is a good question. What role does representation play in recognizing and celebrating Black excellence?
What you got for me? What you got? Because I don't know.
I
I'm feeling my little one.
think no. I think representation plays a huge role, but I'm gonna loop all these other things up into hustle culture.
And what?
I'm going to group a whole bunch of things up, and I'm just gonna call it hustle culture. You need to own a business, and you ain't starting a business. You know,
Okay.
I'm just gonna loop all that. You sleep, you could be working. I'm gonna loop all that into hustle culture. Um, representation plays a big role. I don't think that we pride ourselves enough on the everyday people. You
Hmm.
know, like I said, like our parents, like some of our friends, like our world, like my family, like just the everyday people who are out here moving the needle just a little bit. As a people, we have kind of let other people tell us that what we do makes us important. And that's not true. What we do, I don't think it has ever been as important as it is today because we had to be on one accord to make the moves that we have made to like be here in this time. Our ancestors, our grandparents, our great grandparents. Um, and I just remember like my great grandmother, like she was proud to be a nurse in Mississippi back there in second because there were no hospitals.
Hmm.
She used to treat people like in her home because there were no
Mm.
hospitals for black people. So at the time, even people who were with the elevators or just did trades, like they were proud, and we put them on a platform to be proud. And I think we're kind of getting away from that to the fast money schemes of hustle culture, which is fine, but I just feel like it's everywhere so much that people are starting to feel less than, and then other people are treating them as less than. Like for me, I've dated people up and down, all around. That none of that has ever really mattered to me because that's I come from humble, very humble beginnings. So, and I'm
Same.
a good person,
Mhm.
and there's a million of them good persons. Um, I want to take this conversation and talk about the historical significance, a little bit more about the historical significance of Black work uh, in this country, because it encompasses a long and complex journey that reflects struggle, resilience, and achievements throughout different areas. That's from slavery to modern day. Like we have held an important part in this society. And to be honest, it wasn't always as lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it wasn't always as doctors. Before we got there, we were less than that. But we took pride in those things. So let's talk about it. Black work in this country started in the 17th century with what?
Slavery, child.
Slavery from
We
the
don't get no
17th
lower.
to the 19th century. Slavery was a fundamental institution in early America, forced the labor of millions of enslaved Africans. It was central to the economic success of the colonies and later the United States. The United States would not be what it is without slavery, without black people there.
Mm-hmm.
Enslaved people, of course, were forced to work on plantations, in mines, and in various domestic and skilled trades without compensation or freedom. Let's move to what happened after slavery. After slavery, we entered an era called Reconstruction. Reconstruction was then followed by post Reconstruction area. So that was about 1865 to like I would just say 1900, like the early 1900s, but we just go 1865 to 1900. So following the Civil War and the abolition of slavery, with the passage of the 13th Amendment, Reconstruction aimed to establish civil rights and opportunities for former enslaved individuals, which were us. During this period, we began to enter into new occupations, such as farming, entrepreneurship, and skilled trades. However, Reconstruction was very short lived because Jim Crow came along.
Mm-hmm.
Not now, I pay it. Jim Crow came and racial discrimination limited the progress made during this time. We were relegated to uh, some of the jobs that we deemed less than, and we took pride in doing those jobs. Now, later on in the 1960s, so about 1916 through the 70s, we had the Great Migration, which refers to millions of Black Americans from the rural South moving to urban cities in the North, Midwest, and the West. This is why everybody got a cousin in Chicago.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This is why everybody in Mississippi has a cousin in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Like, it's just without fail. And I went for a long time thinking that I didn't have any family in Chicago. And then my mom was like, no. We used to ride the train all the time in Chicago to see our cousins. I was like, everybody in Mississippi got a cousin in Chicago.
But for real though, like we
But
should go
for real.
visit. Just like take trips with our family, just go to visit them.
But for real, so this is what the Great Migration was. So and it was in response to like seeking better opportunity to remove ourselves from the oppression that we faced in the Jim Crow South. The Black individuals during this time, we worked in industrial sectors. So manufacturing was on the rise in America. And hello, who was the heartbeat of that? It was Black Americans.
Surprise!
Surprise! We were in the factories, y'all. This is what we did. We were in the steel mill industry. We were in the manufacturing plants. This migration has profoundly influenced the demographics and cultural landscapes of cities like Chicago, cities like Detroit, and cities like New York. Let's continue our exploration of Black work here in America. We're going to move to the Civil Rights Movement
Mm-hmm.
and affirmative action. So, Civil Rights Movement and affirmative action was like a response to that. So we'll group those together. That was a very short stint. It was from the 50s to the 70s. The Civil Rights Movement fought against racial segregation and discrimination, aiming to secure our equal rights. The movement brought attention to employment discrimination, where we were not able to work everywhere, where we faced retaliation, harassment, and discrimination on the job if we had a job. Leading to this led to the introduction of affirmative action policies to promote equal opportunities in education and employment. The policies aim to address historical disadvantages and increase representation of marginalized groups, including us in various sectors. So now here we are in the contemporary era. That's kind of where we are now.
Hmm.
That's like from the 80s present. We have made significant strides in various fields, including business, politics, entertainment, academia, and sports. However, racial disparities still exist. Barriers to entry still exist. Systemic barriers still exist, and they continue to persist in this workforce with wage gaps, limited access to higher paying positions, and unconscious bias affecting Black workers' achievement in economic equality. Throughout history, we have been active in labor movements advocating for workers' rights, fair wages, and better working conditions. Of course, we know MLK played a role in this, Philip Randolph, Bayard Rustin in promoting racial and economic justice. And a lot of times when we were active in those movements, we were still last to receive the rights from that. Look at
Right.
all the people who supported women's rights at the
Hmm.
time. But black women were still kind of left off at the end of the day when women got the right to vote. Like we were still discriminated against um, through our struggle, like to work here. It's it's important. I feel like it was important to recognize that this overview kind of provides a general history of black work in America. It does not I cannot, me personally, I cannot capture like the full scope of nuances that individuals face, communities face, um, and continue to face. But I thought that it was important to share of how we have went from literally fighting just to take any job, like just a job to take
Hmm.
care of your family, to this point to where now those jobs seem to be mediocre. And I thought that was important to just kind of share like a brief history of the struggle and perseverance and persistence that it has taken black people to be multimillionaires, you know,
Right.
attorneys and educators and doctors and business owners. And to say that there are still so many systemic barriers in access for people to reach that level of success. Not to make excuses for people who are truly not trying. That's you have discernment, you have to use it when you're dating individuals. But just know that there are good people out there. I have some questions for you. I
What
have
you
a
got
question
for me?
for you. Well, clearly we've been talking about it anyway. But are there any potential drawbacks or limitations to the concept of black excellence? So we've kind of talked about
Yeah. I mean, I
that.
guess
Oh,
I guess it's just like people feeling like I guess you have to have an understanding of what black excellence is, which I think
exactly.
you did a very great job of providing
Well,
the
you don't know where
definition.
you're going until you know where you came from. I think we kind of forget. We're in 2023. We kind of forget that uh, 40, 50 years ago, the landscape was so different.
Right. Right.
Especially if you're 40 or 50 years
Right.
old.
So I think sometimes we can ourselves put limits on what black excellence is, but like we said, there are no limitations on it. You can be excellent in black at any level
Exactly.
because it's going to move. It's going to push the culture further. Anyway, so no, I don't think there are any limitations on the concept of black excellence.
Can black excellence be celebrated without reinforcing a narrative of exceptionalism or downplaying the systemic barriers that black individuals face? It's kind of like
That's what we
the
just.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
and
I mean,
this
so
is where envy was probably like going,
left.
envy about. What you got different thoughts?
No, I don't want to speak on her behalf.
Oh, speak on her behalf,
I
child.
don't want to
Oh
because she had that heat by herself because I don't want I
no,
do not want to be
I
associated with
want to
it.
hear. I mean, I just want to hear your thought.
But she was pretty much saying that it's you can be great at what if that's what you want to do. Like if you can if you want to be in the average job, like let's talk about the job itself and not the person, right? She was pretty much saying that if you wanted to be a school teacher or uh, any type of blue collar work, I won't list them all, but whatever you want to be, and that's what you see as being exceptional, or that's where you feel like your peak is and where your satisfaction is, she's all for that, and she champions that, and that's not what she was trying to put down. You know, she was just saying, trying to give a call, I guess, out to those of us who know that we're not currently um, acting in our purpose or doing as much as we could do. We could be, you know, a doctor. We could be in these other different fields. You could be out here buying up real estate. You could be, you know, tapping into these other different fields. And we're all black excellence still.
Um,
So I feel like on the Breakfast
mhm.
Club, she really was saying the same stuff that we're saying here on this couch, honestly.
I don't know if I see it, but I'm with you. I think
Like if you, because she brought up the grades too. Like if you're a C and D student, everybody's not going to have the same mental capacity. Everybody's not going to be a straight A student, and everybody understands that. Of course not. And so, this again, I don't want to get to where I want to have the conversation. I don't want to speak too much with her. Let's just have the conversation.
I'm just asking your thoughts. But I thought you said you understood what she was saying.
Yeah, I did. I get her point. I get her point because she's saying the same thing that we're saying. Like you can be excellent at every different level. We need people at every different level. Everybody's not going to be a politician. Everybody's not going to be the
She
president.
should work on her response
Well,
though.
I
Her
don't think her
response to it.
response was the issue. I think her initial statement, because that's why I
That's what I'm
said she
talking
was
about. Oh,
backtracking.
right. Her initial
Oh, okay.
statement. I meant her response to Young's question, which is
Yeah,
her initial statement.
right. So
She
I mean,
should
that's what I had a problem with it. But
she should
as
work
far
on
as
it.
black excellence is concerned, we're all black excellence as long as we're pushing ourselves to our full potential, and that we're reaching our goals, and we're checking things off. Like it's not about what you do; it's just about how you're doing it. And as long as you're happy in that, and as long as I mean it's legal, then I'm all for it.
Oh no.
It's all black excellence to me.
I think I'm gonna move into my soft push era. The world is hard, y'all. Like it's really just kind of like hard existing. Um, Sometimes without like the added pressure of you need to be doing more, like coming at you from all different directions. You get what I'm saying? No,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, but
just as it pertains to me, not anybody else. I don't know. I just kind of feel like if I don't know you personally,
don't tell me what I should be doing.
no, I wasn't even gonna frame it that way. I was just gonna say that I'm not gonna tell you what you should be doing. I'm just kind of taking that into my future as an individual because the world is hard. Um, it's harder for us
Mm-hmm.
at times, and it's it's a journey to be persistent in the face of adversity. So you know, and like I said, I'm still a firm believer that everybody don't want to run a business, do these things, be a dog builder. Just do what makes you happy. But I'm kind of glad that we had this. Oh wait, before we wrap up, I have one good
Yeah.
question. How do you think the
And,
concept of go ahead?
yeah. Before we get to your next question, I just want to make sure it's clear. Like, I don't believe that um, you have to be quote unquote exceptional um, to be black excellence. I don't believe that. I feel like exceptional is dependent on the person. I feel like their definition or what that is applicable to you in your own opinion and what you see for yourself in life and what you want out of life. And I've had times in my own life where I was just okay being an accountant or just being at the desk because I just want to get my check. I want to go home. I want to take my trips. I want to enjoy life. I want my peace.
There you go.
I want my understanding of. I just want, I get that, and so me pushing for other things is not because I'm trying to be exceptional or because I'm trying to achieve something. I'm honestly trying to do. I'm doing it for my family, so they won't have to do things that I had to do because somebody came before me. And I think that's what Black excellence is about in general. Like I said, my mom, she worked so many jobs just to make sure I had a great education and all the things that I needed to afford a certain lifestyle. I want to make sure that when I'm gone, when a person leaves this earth, he left something behind so that it'll be a little bit easier. And you were talking about representation earlier, and I think that's important. It's important for uh, my black self to be sitting in the accounting desk because there weren't many accountants. We talked about we started as slaves and coming to. Well, that's not where we started, but talking about United States.
I want to say Cromwell. I can't remember his first name, but I want to say the first black male CPA. His name was Cromwell.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
That's right. You know your things.
I know my things. Cromwell, and it was not. It wasn't long ago. Well, not long ago. I keep thinking it's 2000, but it was It probably was like what 50, 60 years ago.
I'd be like that too, though.
Yeah, it was like the 60s, 70s, something like that. Like first black male CPA, but
yeah,
close. But his last name was Cromwell. So
yeah,
I think you're friend, but you're living in your purpose, and
right. And I encourage everyone to don't feel the pressure to be quote unquote exceptional because exceptional can be a multitude of different things, not just a doctor or an accountant, or you can be exceptional as the grocery store lady. You can be exceptional as a janitor.
in any facet that you
Yeah, in any
choose,
facet, you can
you're
be black
black.
excellence.
You exist in.
Yeah, it counts for you too.
You're good. Right. But I wanted to just ask this final question: how can the concept of black excellence intersect with other social justice movements, such as gender equality and LGBTQ plus rights and disability rights? Like, in what ways can these movements work together to create a more like inclusive um, society?
I'm sorry, friend. We got a lot going on.
Child, it's Memphis. That's always a
we
lot.
we are in Memphis, y'all. So just bear
So
with us.
you hear the sirens, and
Yeah,
not us, but they close, ain't
they're very close. Hopefully, they come up here.
when it just cut off.
Okay, we good. We're safe, y'all.
I mean, I know but I said the
But
black in me wants to.
you got
What's
going
going
on.
on? Yeah, they're like, what's going on outside? But can you think of before we wrap up? Because we're gonna wrap up because I do want to go outside. How?
It's itching.
It's itching. I got to know what's going on. I got to take my broom outdoors and sweep my porch off. I need to know what's going on.
This is how you do it. You being nosy.
There's a little sweeping look.
Get the vacuum. Out the vacuum the yard.
I'm drying my mop. But is there a concept like? Do you think that these areas like black excellence can intersect with gender equality, LGBTQ plus rights, or disability rights?
Absolutely. I feel like we are the intersection. To be honest, us sitting here and having the representation for the black and the gay, and also like you said, you brought up disability rights and all that things. Like in order to champion those things, black excellence has to be at the forefront and has to walk along with those things as well. Otherwise, those agendas kind of get pushed to the bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, to just be blatant, black issues are already at the bottom. So if we can't address those, and we can't, work alongside each other to get everything handled. Because you brought up earlier how, even with the women's movement, black women weren't.
They got left behind in that.
They got left behind. So if you have to work with each other because black, we're at the bottom, and that's how America has painted it. They paint us with this, and I think that's why the term Black excellence is so important in itself.
It's so important in our understanding of it because we ourselves separate ourselves into these categories of who's important and not important.
Right,
And
bingo,
exactly,
bingo.
and that was the reason for the us talking to the people about the historical context because it was not always um like it, not to this grand extent to where I feel like we are like now, where you're kind of separated. Oh, you didn't, people. Oh, you don't do this. Do this because like the worst thing you can ask me when you meet me is what do I do? Because I think some way about you at that point.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people do.
And that's what so many
they try to
we
size
go
you
to.
up.
Yeah, we go to like networking, events out. We've been different places, and I hate that because people want to size you up to how important are you to me, or how important are you in my world. I'm important. That's all you need to know, baby.
Right. Period.
Period. I want to end with a repeat of what truly is Black excellence, just so we can leave the people with a fresh understanding for you to take with you.
Yes.
It's a term that celebrates the achievements, contributions, and success of Black individuals and communities across various fields and endeavors. It is a recognition and affirmation of the exceptional talents, resilience, and accomplishments of Black people in the face of historical and ongoing challenges. Just to end it up, don't let anybody take your light. You're excellent.
Yes.
You're important. You make the world go round. And we appreciate you. We love you. That wraps up. That wraps up. We're going to jump out of the bag and move out into homework. My homework for last week was to take a walk, in recognition of Mental Health Awareness Month. I encourage everyone to just kind of get outside. It just brings a certain calmness to your mind, brings a certain energy, especially if you're able to like do some grounding. Just kind of get out of nature.
Hot
Yeah.
this week.
Why I tell somebody, I was like, okay. Now yesterday she got me. I was sweating down yesterday, but today she got me again because I just did listen. I was like, okay, so this is the weather where I leave my air on blast so I can remote start my car. A privilege, child, the one I
know that's right.
A privilege, cause
the seat,
that's
the burn.
You got that the seat. Unforgiving.
Hollering.
Unforgiving, and I don't have a garage, so the car be like I would get into my car in the summer and be 125 degrees in there. So take you a walk. Just walk around while your car cool down. If you got air, just walk around. That's kind of your walk.
Yeah, okay. That's one way to get your homework done.
Crank your car.
So don't say you ain't got time because you know the seat gonna burn.
That's my homework for last week. What was your homework for last week?
My homework was self-care. Take a self-care day,
please.
For your mental health, and to also mute your social media.
Yes, turn those notifications off. Turn those notifications. It's driving you crazy.
It is. It's not driving us crazy because why?
My notifications are off.
They are off.
What's your homework for this week?
My homework for this week is to deep dive. I want them to deep dive into this Black excellence topic. I think this is a great topic. I think it's a worthy discussion, and I feel like they need to invest more into it. Get a better understanding of what Black excellence is, and determine yourself, like, how are you showing up in Black excellence? Because we all show up in different ways.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be our first episode where we have like a joint homework.
Yeah.
Because my homework is the same. I want them to do a deep dive into like how are you showing up, and really take a thought into what the term meant to you, what it means to you in your life. And you may recognize that you've been, treating people in a way that you yourself do not want to be treated. So I just want more love going around.
Yes, especially amongst us. We can get a lot further together.
We will.
History's shown us that. So let's get
Time
back.
and time.
Let's get back to that.
Time and time again.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. Do you have any final thoughts for the people?
Black people, I love you. All
Yeah,
people,
I
I
love you.
love you, but
Where can they
especially my
find
black
you?
people.
Where can they find you on the socials?
Yes, you can definitely find me on all platforms at I am that guy Louis. And you can also follow us, our social media platforms as well, at Two Go Mike's Podcast on Instagram and at Two Go Mike's on Twitter.
You can find me on Instagram at LG underscore life's good underscore. You can find me on Twitter at your bestie underscore LD. And of course,
I love the name.
I know. I think I'm gonna change it to my
It's
Instagram.
cute.
I'm gonna change it to my Instagram as well. Your bestie LD. But yeah, people, get into the truth behind what is Black Excellence. Shout out to Summer House for really inspiring this topic for us. It was after we watched the episode. Shout out to Justin. Is it Justin? Preston, you're my favorite on the show. I swear I can get your name right, but
Yeah.
my mind is blown because
And he's always provoking thoughts too.
who?
Preston.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Because he did 2 in one episode, Chad.
He did. I don't know if I caught the second one because I be working and watching it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, at the dinner table later on that he brought some of this, so he on it.
See, so we're looking forward to more jams, Preston.
For sure.
But y'all, we're gonna get on up out of here.
Right, y'all took up enough of our time.
Too much. I got stuff to do. Peace.